Hello, everyone. Today's story is interesting, but if you find it compelling, please consider subscribing. The channel's been quiet lately, and your support keeps it going. Let's get into it. My name is Isaac, and I'm 32 years old. For most of my life, I felt like an afterthought in someone else's saga, a minor character in a family narrative that centered entirely on my older brother, Noah. From the moment he was born, it was as if the heavens had crowned him king, while I was tasked with carrying his mantle. He was the favored son, the eldest, destined to receive the best of everything, and my parents ensured he got it. I used to think it was because of their upbringing or some cultural tradition. He's the firstborn, my mother would say, as if those words held divine weight, excusing every slight. My father once told me plainly, "You'll get it when you have kids. The first one's different." I didn't understand then, and I still don't. But I stopped asking questions. Instead, I learned to fade, to stay quiet, to accept worn-out clothes, overlooked birthdays, and half-hearted embraces. When my grandparents passed, I held a flicker of hope that things might shift, that I'd finally be seen in their will. But the pattern held firm. Noah inherited the house, the one where our grandmother used to sing us lullabies, with the rose bushes she tended when we were small. He got the savings account, which Grandpa called the kids' future fund. He even took Grandma's jewelry box, the one she promised me because I cherish sentimental things. But promises don't hold up against a will. My name wasn't mentioned, not even for the old cuckoo clock in the hallway that he used to beg Grandma to wind up on weekends. What hurt most was how casually everyone accepted it. My parents didn't bother hiding their bias anymore. "Your brother has duties," my mother said, as if managing unearned wealth in a house he never cleaned made him a saint. "He'll carry the family name," my father declared one Thanksgiving, while Noah downed his fifth bourbon. It was as if they were building a legacy, with me as the spare in case their star player faltered. So I left, quietly. No drama, no grand exit. I took a tech support job in a new city and climbed the ladder. Lived modestly, saved everything. No one noticed. No one called. At Christmas, I got generic group text from the family chat. My mom sent a heart emoji for my birthday, once a day late, which was almost funny. I wasn't angry, not at first. I just adapted, learned to live small. Meanwhile, Noah was thriving, or so it seemed. I'd catch glimpses of his life on social media when curiosity got the better of me. Photos of him at swanky bars, lounging by pools in Miami, grinning with girlfriends who changed every few months. He even tried launching a podcast about crypto investing for a brief stint. It lasted 5 episodes. He recorded them in Grandma's old living room, surrounded by heirlooms he didn't value. I watched 10 minutes of one before closing the tab, thinking this house will crumble under him. It wasn't long before the call started. Mom was first, her tone light and breezy. "Hey, sweetie, just wondering if you're coming home for Easter. Noah misses you. He's struggling, and we need someone steady around." I didn't reply. Then Dad took the guilt route. "Family's all we've got, son. Don't let grudges tear that apart." I wanted to say, "You tore it apart," but I let the silence stretch instead. Then came a video call. Noah appeared on screen, looking worn out, trying to muster a smile. "Bro," he said, "I miss you, man." He gave a weak chuckle. "You still got that place in the city? I might swing by next week to catch up." He didn't mention that he'd sold the house months earlier to cover failed business debts, or that his latest girlfriend had drained his account before leaving. But I knew. My cousin Ava spilled everything in a late-night message. "Don't say I told you," she wrote, but Noah's crashing in a motel and begging for loans. Still, I said nothing. Silence felt louder than any retort. 3 weeks later, I opened my apartment door, and there he was. He looked like a shadow of himself, gaunt, eyes bloodshot, clothes wrinkled like he'd slept in them. The Noah I knew, the one who called me little man, while ruffling my hair, was gone. This version was hollow. He didn't even try to fake charm. "I didn't know where else to go," he said, voice cracking. "I'm in deep trouble, Isaac." That was the first time he'd used my real name in years. Not bro or buddy, just Isaac. I froze in the doorway. A small part of me, the kid who still looked up to his big brother, wanted to let him in, offer a blanket, a warm meal, a piece of the stability I'd built. But then I remembered sitting alone at Grandma's funeral, hearing him laugh with friends about selling the house for profit. I remembered Dad handing Noah a check for my college fund, which they claimed was lost in the market crash, so Noah could chase his dreams. "I just need a hand," Noah said, rubbing his face. "A place to stay, maybe a loan. I swear I'll pay you back. I got a plan." That word, plan, hit like a slap. He always had a plan, and it always ended with someone else fixing his messes. My grip tightened on the doorframe. I looked at his face, the same one that smirked through every slight my parents excused, the one that took my future as a party favor. I didn't shout. I didn't raise my voice. "Funny," I said. "That's exactly what you left me with." His eyes flickered, confusion, then realization, then maybe shame. I didn't stick around to find out. I stepped back and closed the door. Through the peephole, I watched him linger, then turn and shuffle to a waiting rideshare. No bags, no hope, no return plan. But that wasn't the end, because shutting the door was just the beginning. The real fallout was coming. The next morning, I got a text from my mom. Point one line. "I heard what happened last night. Call me." No, "How are you?" No warmth, just that heavy, loaded sentence, dripping with unspoken expectations. I stared at it over cold coffee, wondering how quickly Noah had run back to her. I didn't reply. 2 hours later, my phone lit up with her name. I let it ring. Then again. I silenced it. Then came the voicemail. "Isaac, it's your mother. I don't know what's wrong with you, but Noah's your brother. Family supports each other, especially when someone's struggling." I expect a call back. The irony almost made me laugh. Family supports each other. Since when? I spent the day in silence, focusing on work, keeping my phone off. That night, I checked my email and saw a message titled "Family Meeting, Sunday, 3 p.m. It was from my dad, sent to a chain including me, Noah, and my parents. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity won. It was short, formal, written like a corporate memo from a man who'd forgotten how to be a father. "We'll resolve this like adults. This family can't survive division and resentment. Your brother needs help. We expect you to be reasonable." Reasonable. I stared at the word until it blurred. They called it reasonable to give Noah the house while I slept on a thin mattress in a shared dorm, working nights to cover rent. Reasonable to drain the family savings for his failed startup while telling me they couldn't afford to visit me after I moved. Noah took Grandma's ring, the one she wanted me to keep for someone special, and gave it to a girl he dated for 2 months. And now they wanted reasonable. But part of me wavered that I wasn't cruel, that I didn't want to hold a grudge forever. Maybe I still hoped they'd admit their mistakes, apologize just once for treating me like an afterthought. I went. Sunday came, and I drove 2 hours back to my hometown. The house looked unchanged, the same chipped mailbox, the same rusty swing set in the yard, unmoved since we were kids. The wind chimes I used to hear from my room still clinked in the breeze, but the air felt heavier. My mother greeted me with a strained smile. Why father sat at the dining table, not in his usual chair, signaling this was serious. Noah sat across from him, slouched, hood up like a shield. His eyes were darker, more hollow. He didn't look at me. "Thanks for coming," my father said, gesturing to a chair. My mother set out iced tea, like it was just another lazy afternoon. "Cut the pleasantries," I said evenly. "You wanted me here to talk, so talk." My father cleared his throat, clasping his hands. Noah's made mistakes. He knows that. But shutting the door in his face? That's not how we fix things. That's not who we are. I raised an eyebrow. We? The same we that gave him everything and left me with nothing. My mother's smile froze. My father flinched, but pushed on. He's the eldest, Isaac. He had bigger responsibilities. We did what we thought was best. And now, I leaned forward. "You think I should fix the chaos you enabled?" Silence. My mother sat down, deflated. "He's got nothing left, Isaac. Not even a car. He's been crashing on couches. He had a house, he sold it. He had savings, he spent it. He had jewelry, assets, family money, and burned it all on parties, girls, and bad investments. Don't tell me he has nothing. He chose nothing." Noah finally looked up, voice raspy. "I screwed up, okay? I know I don't deserve it. But I just need a place to stay, a job lead, something." I stared at him, at the desperation in his tone. The Noah I knew would have laughed it off, called me a loser for not helping. But this Noah was broken. I got here on my own, I said. No inheritance, no family help. I worked through school, lived in a closet-sized apartment, fixed computers, and dealt with angry clients while you jetted to Bali. You don't get to ask for my life now. My father jumped in. We're asking you, son, as a family. Can't you help him out? I looked at them all. They weren't asking for help. They were demanding sacrifice again, wrapped in guilt, iced tea, and family loyalty. I stood up. I don't owe you anything, I said. Not after years of pretending I didn't exist. You gave him everything. Now live with the consequences. I turned to Noah. You spent your inheritance on fun. I built my peace from nothing. I'm not breaking it for old time's sake. My mother's eyes teared up. My father opened his mouth but found no words. Noah just nodded like he finally got it. I left without another word. No slamming doors, no shouting, just the soft sound of my shoes on the floor and 3 people frozen in the mess they'd made. But it wasn't over. Noah wasn't done. And his next move would drag this family drama somewhere neither of us expected. A week passed. I thought that was the end. No more calls, no voicemails. The silence felt like a small victory, like my absence had finally registered. I focused on work, tidied my apartment, and leaned into the quiet routines that had kept me grounded since childhood. I didn't check the family chat. I didn't look at Noah's social media. I didn't care what happened next until I got a call from HR at my job. Isaac, my boss said, sounding uncomfortable, almost apologetic. We got a weird email in our general inbox. Someone sent an anonymous tip claiming you lied about your qualifications, saying your degree was fake. My stomach dropped. What? I asked, sharper than I meant. It's not true, he said. Your credentials checked out when we hired you. But the email included personal details, your address, your mom's maiden name, even the last 4 digits of your old bank account. It didn't take long to connect the dots. Only 3 people knew that specific combination of details, and 2 of them were at that dining table last Sunday. It was Noah. He'd stooped to something low and vicious, like a cornered animal trying to pull someone else down to survive. When begging didn't work, he turned to sabotage. I sat at my desk, heart pounding, hands cold. The betrayal, the sheer audacity, made my skin crawl. He hadn't just crossed the line. He'd used our family history to try to ruin the life I'd built. I opened my email. There it was, an anonymous Gmail with a vague subject line. I opened it and gritted my teeth as I read. This man has a history of deceit. He manipulated his family for money and cut them off when they needed him. Ask why he changed his last name when he moved. Ask why his family doesn't speak to him. There were attachments, old photos from my college days. One showed me at a desk with a pile of unpaid bills. Another was a blurry scan of a partial transcript from a community college I didn't finish before transferring. None of it proved anything, but it was designed to sow doubt. It ended with one line, "You don't know who you hired." I didn't realize I was trembling until I dropped my pen. I called my boss back immediately. He said the email had been flagged and dismissed, that the company didn't entertain baseless slander. But he added something else. You might want to sort out whatever's happening at home, he said gently. Whoever sent this isn't done. I hung up and stared out the window. The city skyline felt distant, like it belonged to someone else's life. My apartment, my sanctuary, felt smaller. I briefly thought I should have blocked Noah's number the moment he showed up at my door. Instead, I let guilt pull me in. I went to that meeting like it was a negotiation. I gave him a chance to be decent. And now he was trying to destroy everything I'd built because I said no. I pulled out an old external hard drive I hadn't touched in years. It was packed with backups, photos, receipts, emails. I started digging. Not out of fear, because I was done playing defense. See, being ignored your whole life makes you good at observing, at remembering, at keeping things others assume you'll forget. And Noah had made plenty of mistakes, not just with money. I'd helped him draft emails years ago. One to a girl's furious father after she accused Noah of borrowing money. He never repaid. Another to a shady crypto platform, where he bragged about using family funds for risky investments. There were chat logs, screenshots, even a folder labeled Venture LLC, A fake company he'd set up to secure a business loan with a forged bank statement I'd found on a USB drive years earlier. I hadn't kept these things for revenge. I just never deleted them. But now I had everything I needed. I wasn't going to play his game, though. No anonymous tips, no petit sabotage. Instead, I wrote a clear, professional letter. Every claim backed by evidence. Every paragraph structured like a legal brief. Then I sent it, not to my company, but to the bank Noah had scammed with his loan scheme, the one I recognized from those old statements. I didn't send it anonymously. I signed it with my full name. If Noah wanted to fight, I was done hiding in the shadows. I didn't hear anything for a month. Then, on a rainy Tuesday morning, I got a call from an unknown number. It was a woman from Seaport Bank's fraud department. Is this Isaac Reyes? Yes. I'm calling to confirm. You sent the packet about Noah Reyes and the 2021 loan under Venture LLC? My back straightened. Yes, that was me. A pause, heavy with meaning. Thank you. Your documentation was very detailed. We've had a soft flag on that account for nearly a year. We couldn't prove anything until now. She didn't say much more, couldn't legally, but her tone told me things were moving. I hung up and stared at my phone for a full minute. I hadn't felt this calm in years. Not numb, but at peace. Like I'd finally stepped out of the storm everyone else mistook for clear skies. 3 days later, Ava sent me a screenshot. It showed Noah being escorted out of what looked like a hotel lobby by 2 plainclothes officers. Her message read, "So he's under investigation, bank fraud, identity misrepresentation, loan default. Your dad's furious." I stared at the image, barely processing it. The man who used to game the system while sipping cocktails had finally lost. But what hit me hardest wasn't triumph. I felt no glee, no smugness. I felt done. A few days after the arrest, my mother called. I let go to voicemail. Her voice was frail, stripped of its usual poise. "Isaac, I don't know what's going on. Your father's pacing like a caged animal. They're saying Noah might have used fake documents. The bank's been calling. We didn't know he was doing this." A pause. "I know you're upset. I know we've hurt you. But please don't ruin him. He's still your brother." It would have been so easy to call back, to yell about the years of favoritism, the forgotten birthdays, the inheritance funneled to Noah's whims. To ask where this concern was when I was scraping by on cheap noodles and night shifts while Noah had vacations and bailouts. But I didn't. It didn't matter anymore. I blocked her number. Then my father's. Then I left the family group chat for good. I deleted the old emails, photos, and text logs I kept as relics of a life I thought I was supposed to want. When the story hit the local news, it spread like wildfire in our small town. Local man charged with fraud in $130,000 business loan scheme. The article listed aliases, Venture LLC, Sunridge Solutions, even Reyes Enterprises, which made me chuckle, as if he'd tried to build a fake empire on a stolen name. There were quotes from people he'd conned. A gym owner who never got paid, a student who worked for a commission that never came, a woman who loaned him $3,000 for a business trip he never took. One said, "He acted like he had it all together, like he was doing me a favor." I should have seen it was all lies. The fallout was brutal. The bank froze his accounts. His crypto investments had tanked months earlier. His leased car was repossessed. His last address was a month-to-month rental he hadn't paid for in weeks. His friends? Gone. The ones who partied with him in Miami, who posted glossy group shots with #hustle hashtags. Not one visited. Not one commented on his social media. Ava told me my parents tried to take out a second mortgage to hire a lawyer. It was denied. They'd already used the house as collateral for Noah's last big idea. They no longer own it outright. Ava gave one final update before I asked her to stop mentioning it. "They're selling the jewelry," she said. "Grandma's necklace, the ring, the brooch." I sat with that for a moment. Not because I wanted the jewelry, not because I craved revenge, but I realized something. My parents had spent 30 years pouring everything into one son, watching him burn it all to ashes while ignoring the other, the quiet one, the steady one, as if he didn't matter. And now, the golden sun was dust. And the shadow? He'd built a life. 3 months passed. Then 4. Then a letter arrived, handwritten, no return address. The handwriting was familiar. It was Noah. The letter was brief, messy, barely a page. I know what you did. I don't blame you. I hate who I've become. I am scared. I don't expect forgiveness. But if you ever want to talk, I'm here. I've got nowhere else to go. I folded the letter, tucked it back into the envelope, and placed it in a drawer I hadn't opened in years. One filled with old keys, faded receipts, and things I never threw away. Then I closed it. For the first time, I didn't feel like I was carrying someone else's burden. I didn't write back. I didn't tell anyone. I stood up, walked to my kitchen, poured a drink, and looked out at a skyline I'd earned alone. No inheritance, no handouts, just grit, memories, and the slow, hard choice to choose peace over family. And you know what? That was enough. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences. Your support and insights helped me realize I wasn't being unreasonable and gave me the courage to trust my gut.